Hello, and thank you for your LifeLocator 3 Plus purchase. After watching this video, you will know how to operate your LifeLocator to make it an effective search and rescue tool. First, we'll show you how it works by presenting a basic overview of ground-penetrating radar. We will also discuss the application and advantages of using radar technology. Then, we'll explain the parts and accessories, setup, powering on, and how to navigate the menus. Next, we will cover operating your LifeLocator, where and how to place it, how to use it, and when you know you've located someone. Lastly, we'll show some tips and suggestions for optimal performance, including reviewing search results, advanced options, do's and don'ts, and a few troubleshooting tips. Please have your LifeLocator manual and quick start guide readily accessible for additional information. After an earthquake, search and rescue teams rush in to find buried victims. They bring rescue dogs, thermal cameras, listening devices, and now, for the first time, ground-penetrating radar. The unique properties of radar make it an effective tool in the rescuer's arsenal to look for living victims. Success on 4 continents has shown that the LifeLocator can safely detect living humans beneath piles of building rubble destroyed by earthquakes, hurricanes, and other catastrophic failures. There are many advantages to using ground-penetrating radar, or GPR for short. GPR does not get tired, it does not need silence, and it does not rely on visual detection. LifeLocator looks specifically for life via breathing or motion, and then reports the distance to the victim within seconds for teams to start the rescue. In search and rescue events, time is always critical. Since the key is to know where to dig, it is vital to know where not to dig. One of the big advantages of GPR is its ability to determine with a high probability where not to dig for living victims and when to move to the next location. Its low-frequency radar penetration permits detection of faint chest wall motion through several meters of debris. Similar to sonar echolocation, all radars send out a signal and wait for an echo. What makes this technique different is that we filter out all stationary echoes. If the echo changes, as when a victim moves, that motion shows up immediately. We can calculate the distance of the motion by the time it takes the echo to return. If the victim is motionless but breathing, even the tiny motion of the chest can be detected using special image processing techniques to positively identify the presence of breathing. Depending on the faintness of the breathing, this may take a minute or two to be certain. As with any tool that sharpens with regular use, practice and familiarity will improve your success in pulling living victims from danger. Here are a few things to keep in mind. As with any technology, there are a few factors to be aware of. Since the LifeLocator is essentially an extremely sensitive motion detector, it can be thwarted by false motions. Therefore, a motion-free 15-meter radius must be maintained during the 3-minute survey. Secondly, small children of very shallow breathing will reduce the signal and detection success. In addition, differences in site conditions, including material conductivity and air pocket sizes, also matter. And lastly, although care has been taken to minimize the effects, radio interference in the 270 MHz frequency band from walkie-talkies and cell phones can affect performance. While any technology is never 100% accurate in every situation, experienced use will optimize performance. The LifeLocator comes shipped with everything you need to operate it. Let's begin by opening the Pelican case. Unsnap the 6 clips securing the lid. Lift the sensor out of the case. You'll see that the sensor has a battery port secured by a rubber latch. The sensor also has an on-off switch located on the front panel. There are no other controls on the sensor. Beneath the foam panel, you'll find everything else you need. Remove the laminated manuals and guides. They will be helpful resources in preparation and training. Remove the yellow control unit. This is a personal digital assistant, otherwise known as a PDA. The PDA will be your main interface for surveys, remotely controlling the sensor. On the back, beneath the hand strap, you'll see the PDA battery. This never needs to be removed since it is charged from the bottom of the PDA. The stylus pen is stored securely in the back as well. Next, remove the 3 sensor batteries that come with the unit. Since one never knows when an emergency will occur, keeping batteries charged and ready is always an important priority. The charge level is displayed as a bar graph on the end of the battery. 5 bars means that it is fully charged. To charge the batteries, remove the charger and its cables from the Pelican case and plug everything in. If main power isn't available, use the supplied 12-volt car charger or a small AC inverter. You will probably want to charge up the low batteries before proceeding with this presentation. Recharge time takes about 2 hours. Please note that the use of two-way radios can interfere with system performance. Use them with caution. Before you can operate the LifeLocator, the PDA must be wirelessly linked to the sensor. Insert a charged battery into the sensor. There is a viewing window on the end of the battery near the pull tab that indicates charge level. Close the door tightly and then switch it on. The blue power light appears, followed about 45 seconds later by a flashing red light when the wireless is ready. The green light will illuminate whenever the sensor is transmitting a signal into the ground. Now let's familiarize ourselves with the PDA operating system and navigation. The PDA is a handheld control unit. This will be your interface for surveys. To turn the PDA on, press the green power button on the lower left-hand corner. In several seconds, the Windows mobile screen will appear. On this screen, the date and time as stored in the PDA will be displayed. There will also be the acronym WLAN below the date and time. Next to WLAN, there should be the term LFG SSIAH. If it says off, follow these instructions. Tap WLAN with the stylus pen. Then select Wireless LAN on the next screen. Make sure that Bluetooth is off. When LFG SSIAH appears, press OK on the keypad to return to the Windows mobile screen. To run our LifeLocator software, press the Windows flag logo button on the PDA. The main menu appears. By the way, we recommend navigating the LifeLocator software with the front key panel instead of the stylus pen. It's faster and it keeps the screen clean. At the bottom of the screen, notice a small square moving back and forth. Wait a few seconds for it to turn from red to green, indicating that the PDA is ready to communicate with the sensor. You are now ready to begin search and rescue. From the main menu, there are 2 search modes, the simpler Run mode and the more technical Expert mode. Activating either one will turn the sensor on to start a search. But before that, check the Connect To box, then enter the antenna number. To select the simple Run mode, highlight Run and hit Enter. On the bottom of the screen, you will see the battery status indicators. The appearance of the sensor battery indicates successful communication between the PDA and sensor. The target screen appears and the run clock at the bottom right starts incrementing. The file name is indicated in the upper right portion of the PDA screen. Black squares, which indicate motion, and red circles, which indicate breathing, will appear and grow larger as detection confidence improves. The approximate distance to the victim is displayed. To conclude a search, press Stop on the PDA or press the OK button to return to the main menu. Simple Run mode extracts features from complex data to report motion and breathing. Users may prefer to see the actual data without the software interpretation. For this, use the Expert mode. It can also be quite useful for distinguishing radar interference from a weak signal coming from a victim. To run the system in this mode, access it from the main menu using the up-down arrows to highlight Expert mode and then press the Enter button. Select Line Scan. The screen then rotates 90 degrees in order to display data more effectively. The margin on the right displays the approximate distance of any motion signals. The margin on the left permits several user-selected options. Restart terminates the current search cycle and starts another. Color cycles through the 5 available color tables. Typically, color tables 3 and 4 give clearest results. Gain may be adjusted from 1 to 256, depending on the signal strength through the material being searched. Best results are normally obtained by settings no higher than 32. Light. The intensity of the backlight can be increased or decreased. To quit, hit OK once to return to the Expert Mode menu, then again to return to the main menu. Congratulations! You have just learned how to set up, navigate, and collect data using the LifeLocator. Since there are more options than discussed here, continue watching the next 3 sections of the video, or review your LifeLocator manual and Quick Start Guide for more details. Thank you for your time. We hope this unit helps you save lives, as it has in places around the world. For simple run mode playback, select Target Playback from the main menu. Select the file you want to play. The most recent searches appear on top, but you can sort the list by file number, sensor number, or date time simply by tapping any of those column headers. You may press the OK button on the PDA at any time to return to the Select File screen. Choose another file to play back, or press OK once again to return to the main menu. For Expert Mode playback, select Expert Mode again, and this time select Playback Data. As in normal playback mode, the Select File screen appears. Highlight the desired search file. A progress bar appears while the file is being transferred to the PDA. Expert Mode playback will display the circle or square icons overlaid on the radar data only if the search was originally performed using the simple Run mode. Similar to the normal playback mode, Restart, Color, and Gain are user-selectable choices. You can also control the playback speed from 1 for slowest to 5 for fastest. To return to the Expert Mode menu, press OK. To return to the main menu, press OK once again. Please refer to the manual for a more complete description of the other LifeLocator functions. Here are some placement and positioning tips that might be helpful. Place the antenna pointing in the direction you're interested in, doing your best to place the sensor on a flat, stable surface. Try to ensure that there is no other motion within 15 meters of the unit, keeping in mind that this may include wind-blown plants or debris or overhanging trees. Although the antennas inside the sensors are shielded, motion behind the unit can still be faintly detected and can show up incorrectly as victim motion. For the same reason, keep everyone, including the operator, more than 15 meters away during the search. The PDA will operate up to 30 meters away from the sensor before the Wi-Fi can no longer communicate. Placement interval spacing is not always easy to determine. As in any emergency, just do the best you can to search the area both thoroughly and efficiently. Typically, you would search every 4 meters in a grid pattern for adequate coverage. Searchers may need to reduce the grid pattern interval under wet or muddy conditions. Placement angle and rubble stability may make an idealized search pattern nearly impossible. Ropes for positioning the unit in difficult terrain may prove helpful. It is important to remember that radar cannot see through metal. Placing the sensor on a metal-backed concrete slab, a chain-link fence, or a metal screen will not work. However, seeing through concrete with rebar mesh usually works fine, since the spacing is typically more than 6 to 10 centimeters. Here are some troubleshooting tips that might be helpful. If the radar timeout or connection abandon error box appears, then exit out of LifeLocator, re-enter, and try again. If the same error appears, repeat the startup procedure, including turning the sensor off, then on again. If the system shows erratic detection of motion or breathing, then check around the sensor. Make sure there is no other motion in the vicinity of the sensor. If problems persist, the environmental noise due to other communications equipment may be overwhelming the sensor. You can visually check this by going into Expert Mode and looking at the quality of the signal. If high radio frequency noise or some other interference is clearly evident in the Expert Mode data, then enter Maintenance Mode. From the main menu, press Maintenance 3 times, then press Yes. On the maintenance screen, press Sensitivity, which will change the system setting to low. This will at least let you continue to operate in noisy environments. The penetration range will be minimally affected. The system setting can be changed back to high by pressing Sensitivity again. While in maintenance mode, please note that this is where users can delete stored data. The internal 1 GB memory can store more than 50 hours of data on the sensor. Since the file system was never intended to go beyond file 99, it will overwrite starting from file 1. Periodically clear storage to avoid memory issues. If the sensor is still not communicating with the PDA, then you may want to check for low battery power on both the sensor and PDA. Please have your LifeLocator manual and Quick Start Guide readily accessible for additional information.